Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Robin Mara, and I'll be worship assistant today for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. Have quite a few announcements for this Sunday. Reverend Amy the first. Reverend Amy will be on vacation Wednesday, September 11th through Monday, September 16th. And Elaine, raise your hand. We'll be taking pictures after the service for photos for our generosity campaign. So if you haven't had your photo taken yet, I know I have not yet, please look for Elaine after the service. And now, would Beth please come forward to tell us about our shared plate partner?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Beth. I am a member of PUUC, and I worship primarily in Salisbury. I'm here this morning because our monthly plate collection, our shared plate, is for Rowan Helping Ministries, which is located in the city of Salisbury. If you are not familiar with it, I would encourage you to go to their website. There's a fund of information, and it's way too much to tell you this morning, but I want to hit on a couple of things. RHM, as we call it, has been in existence for 35 years. That's both a good thing and a bad thing, in that the community recognized the need, but it's kind of sad that we've needed a homeless shelter for 35 years now. Maybe we weren't all aware of it 35 years ago, but one of the things that I found when I was looking up the history of RHM is our host church, John Calvin Presbyterian, was one of the first church communities to be involved with RHM. And they provided space for the Crisis Assistance Network. So it's a really good match, as you can see, between us at Piedmont and John Calvin. RHM, I thought this was really interesting. RHM has a budget of $2.8 million, but only 5.2% is administrative costs. It's pretty low. For a nonprofit, that's almost unheard of. Volunteers make up the number of people providing services, the greatest number of people. There are over 50 volunteers per day, 365 days a year at RHM. That's an astounding number of people in a community that's less than 36,000 people. I was just kind of blown away. The services provided by RHM are so varied in their outreach, and they're all designed to help move people out of crisis, out of poverty, out of the cycle of hunger, and out of the cycle of homelessness in Rowan County. So even though RHM is located in Salisbury, it has satellite locations around the county where folks can go where they live to receive services. Some of the services, shelter services, of course. There's the men's area and the women's area. Includes laundry. It includes 3 meals a day. But in addition to that, it includes family units. They're totally self-contained with showers and little living rooms, so families who need shelter services don't have to be separated from their children. It's pretty neat. Jeannie's Kitchen operates daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner for shelter participants, but the lunch is open to anyone in the community. Anyone can come and have lunch. Some people go just for the socialization. Some people, especially during the summer, I was told, there were a lot more families that came in for lunch. It was a way for them to feed their children in the summer when they didn't have school lunches and breakfasts. There's also the clothing center. There's a food pantry. There's Crisis Assistant Network. You can go in and get help with your utilities if you're falling behind. Sometimes you can get help with your rent. I mean, there are all kinds of services. There's traditional housing programs. There's a service called New Tomorrow. And food for thought, 490 weekly backpacks for our kids in Rowan County. Again, it's all volunteers. People come and put food in backpacks and deliver it to the local schools for 490 kids on a weekly basis, all the school year long. RHM has a lot of community partners, and some of them are Meals on Wheels, so our seniors are not forgotten. The Community Care Clinic, which provides health care and dental services to people in Rowan County. Food Line feeds. We hear a lot about Food Line, and Central Lina Food Bank are involved. I just would like to make a plug for Rowan Helping Ministries. It is so important for our community. It is so important for Rowan County. And it really has a place in the heart for me because it was the last place that my Jenny worked, and she loved working there. For those of you who are not familiar with that, Jenny is my oldest daughter, and we lost her 3 years ago during COVID. And she just, Rowan Helping Ministries, she said, was the best place she ever worked. She really loved it. So please be generous this morning, and let's help out Rowan Helping Ministries. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth, for sharing that. And next, we're going to have Madia come up. Madia's our lifespan religious educator and wants to share some info with us. Thanks, Madia.
Good morning. I'm here to speak with you today about our upcoming children's religious education offerings. Starting October 6th, after A Time for All Ages, we will begin our RE offerings for kindergarten through 2nd grade and 3rd through 5th grade, and we are in need of volunteers to lead these classes. Our religious education teachers are provided materials from Soul Matters that pertains to our themes and weekly services. Soul Matters provides discussion questions and activities, so our session leaders do not have to come up with their own. You are not in charge of creating lessons. Do not worry about that. I will give them to you. I take that off of your plate. All additional materials, such as papers or markers, crafting supplies, etc., will be provided by myself. We need ideally 2 adults for each age level. We are also looking to add volunteers to our nursery rotation. Our nursery volunteers provide a safe environment for our youngest children and to play and spend time with other children their age during Sunday services. These adults would also help lead the children into and out of the main room when it is time for All Ages. We need 2 adults in the nursery each Sunday. The more volunteers we have, the more we can spread the love around. I know a huge concern for many of you is losing out on your own time in service. If we can add even 3 more people to the nursery rotation, each person would only need to be in the nursery once a month, with the occasional twice a month. The same applies for our elementary RE. The more volunteers we have, we can create a rotation so you both get to attend service and serve our children by facilitating their religious education. Let's take this excitement for growing our RE program and use it to volunteer. I would love for one day to have RE offerings regularly available for children ages 5 to 18, and I believe we can achieve that, and it all starts here with our nursery and elementary age levels. If you would like to speak with me more about the Soul Matters curriculum or how you can get involved, please come speak with me after service. And as always, you are free to email me at Madia, M-A-D-I-A, at puuc.org if you would like to volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you, Madia, and we hope there's a crowd of people around Madia after service today to sign up. One more announcement that just keep in mind, we've got our our Generosity Team Picnic on September 28th. It's the last Saturday of the month, right? And then at 11:30, it's at Frank Lisk Park. And we'll need for y'all to sign up for what you'd like to bring, what you plan to bring, so that we'll have
Well, we're providing food, so
That's
that's why we need the number.
the number. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This was a last minute announcement, so that was new to me too. So we just need you to sign up with a link that you'll get in your email this week. So we'll have a knowledge of what number of people will come, so we can make sure we have plenty of food for you. I think you bring drinks. Is that correct? Never mind. Never mind. Food and drink are provided. So, for other important information about our beloved community, please see your order of service, or if you're on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Thank you, Robin. Before we have the chalice lighting, I see Jim back here. I'm getting a little feedback from the mic. I don't know if anyone else is hearing this morning. Just a little. Okay, other people are too.
I already turned it down for
Okay.
feedback.
Okay.
I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting just a little tinny sound. So, no, it's because I don't have hearing aids. All right, so is that sounding better? Okay, great. Thank you all. So, I don't have hearing aids yet. I'm sure at some point I'm probably heading that direction, but so, too much loud music as a young person. So, all right. So let's hear these words as we prepare to begin this portion for our worship and lighting our chalice. Hear these words now from Allison Palm. We gather this morning on the brink of a new congregational year. Some of us come fresh from summer adventures, from wind and waves and sunshine. Some of us come broken down from summer losses, from tears and pain and heartache. Some of us come renewed from summer rest, from peace and solitude and contemplation. Some of us come wearied from summer monotony, from work and heat and sameness. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever gifts and needs you bring, you are welcome here. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our call to worship. Let us join together. We gather in this morning, joy in giving, joy in receiving, love in coming, love outflowing, peace instilling, peace distilling, wisdom infilling, wisdom outpouring, from inflowing to ebb tide, from ebbing to inflowing tide, the divine ever with us abide. Our opening hymn is found in our great hymnal, number 100, Peace Like a River, and we will sing all 6 verses. Invite any young ones to come up front with Miss Madia.
Good morning. Today I'm doing something a little different. I found this awesome felt board in my office. Do you want to feel the felt board? It's really soft. Remy, you want to feel the felt board? Yes. So I have a story, and you two are going to help me tell this story. See, I've got all these shapes up here. And when I get to special parts of the story, I'm going to have you help me put these shapes on the felt board. And then when we are all done, we're going to have a picture of our story. All right? So it starts. Once upon a time. Thank you. Once upon a time, there was a drop of water named Higgins. Higgins was no ordinary drop of water. He was a drop with a dream. Do you want to put this one on the board for me? Wherever you want. Higgins lived in a valley where it had not rained in a very long time, so all of the lovely green grass was turning brown, and all of the beautiful flowers were wilting, and all of the trees were starting to droop. Higgins had a dream that one day the valley would be a beautiful place again. But what could he do? After all, he was only a drop of water. One day, Higgins decided to travel and tell others about his dream. There's 3 for you. 3 for you. There you go. Let's get the raindrops on the board. All the other drops listened very politely, but no one believed that his dream would come true. "Higgins," said one, "get your head out of the clouds. You can't spend your whole life dreaming." Higgins decided that he had to do something to make his dream come true. So he began to think and think and think one day as he was walking by a rusty old bucket. Remy, where should the bucket go? All right, sounds good. He got an idea. If enough of us drops of water got together in this bucket, Higgins thought, there would be enough water to sprinkle on a few flowers to help them grow and become beautiful again. Eagerly, Higgins told everyone his great idea, but everyone thought he was being foolish. That Higgins is nothing but a dreamer, they said. Higgins decided he had to do something to convince the others that he was right. So he said to them, "I don't know about you, but I'm getting into the bucket. I hope some of you will join me. Then there might be enough water to help at least some flowers grow beautiful again." So Higgins ran as hard as he could. He's running. Jumped into the bucket and kerplunk! Stayed at the bottom of the bucket. And there he sat, just a drop in the bucket. Oop, not yet. They don't join him yet. We're going to leave them here. For a long time, Higgins was very lonely. It seemed like no one else was going to join him, but after a while, some of the other drops could see that the grass was dying, and the flowers were wilting, and the trees were drooping. They all agreed something must be done. Suddenly, one drop shouted, "I'm going into the bucket with Higgins." Can you put him in the bucket? Thank you. Then 2 other drops yelled, "Wait for us." And they also jumped into the bucket. Then 10 drops jumped through the air into the bucket, then 30, then 50, then hundreds of drops came from all around just to hop into the bucket. I've got some extra buckets for all of our raindrops to fit. Soon the bucket was completely full of water. But there were still more drops that wanted to join, so they found another bucket and hopped in. Before long, there were 2 buckets of water, then 3, then 4, then 10, then hundreds, and then thousands of buckets of water. Along came a powerful breeze. Remy, where should our breeze go? Great, sounds beautiful. And the breeze blew over all of the buckets, and the water flowed together to make a mighty stream. Harley, why don't you put our stream on the board for us? This is water. Beautiful, I love that. Everywhere the water flowed, the grass turned green, and again, the flowers bloomed. 1 flower for you. And the trees stood tall and straight once more. Do you want to put your tree on the board? Where's it going to go? Oh, I think that's a great idea. Beautiful. All of this happened because Higgins had a dream, and his dream came true because he knew that although he was just a drop in the bucket, enough drops in the bucket make a bucket full. And when there are enough buckets with the wind behind them, then justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Let's look at our picture that we made. I'm going to lift this up so that everyone can see. Great work! Great work!
now entering our time of ritual and sacred sharing, time where we share joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones. For this week, we light a candle. First, we light a candle for Michael, who joined our church just this past spring, and I know many of you knew, and he had a pancreatic cancer that came about pretty quickly, and he passed yesterday morning. So you might remember also his daughter, Tori, and Tori lives kind of in a group home situation. She's in her 30s, but everything's taken care of for that. Michael's, one of his sisters, I spent some time with yesterday, and it's going to be a few weeks before we have a service, but we'll certainly be keeping everyone in the loop about that when, and we'll email out when that's planned. But we certainly want to remember all of Michael's family and loved ones, and especially Tori as well. We also light a candle this week for the gift of water, for returning to community, for an end to political violence and rhetoric, and for a peaceful democratic process in our country. For an end to the epidemic of gun violence, and especially for the lives lost in school shootings this week, and for their loved ones and friends and family remaining. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For the immediate relief of the people of Gaza. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the war in Ukraine. Now at this time you are invited to come forward as you would like to do so. Please come along by the far wall. We have a prayer stand where you may fill out a prayer card to place on that. You may light your own candle of joy or concern. Or we have stones which you may place in the shared water. We're going to do water communion with this other vase and water just after we get through this time. But you are invited to come forward for our usual time of ritual sharing. candles for the things we hold in our hearts, which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. Now, today is a special ritual for Unitarian Universalist communities, water communion. You'll hear a little bit more about the history of that with our wisdom reading in a few minutes. Now, water is one of life's most essential part of our existence. It binds our bodies together, and it binds our communities and our world together. Now, in just a few moments, I invite you to come forward as you would like to do so. I am going to begin by pouring water into this large bowl here. And this water, some of it has come down through the years. For over 25 years it's been used here at the church. At the end of the service today, I'll take home all the water and boil it and then save it for next year. This also contains some of the water that was used this morning and added to our common bowl in our Salisbury worship service. So you will be invited to come forward along the far aisle, just as we did a few moments ago. And if you have some water that you would like to share, we do have a microphone, and you can briefly state where this water came from and its importance. Even if it's just from your home or wherever that may be. If you did not bring water, that is just fine, because it's a lot to remember everything on Sunday morning. So you are invited to come forward and to take one of the stones and place that in our water bowl, and then to share a gift that you bring for this new congregational year. You know, it might be the gift of attending worship more regularly, or listening to others more carefully. Perhaps you bring a gift of patience or joy, or a musical talent that you're willing to share, or a commitment to help out with religious education. So as you come forward with our water ritual, I invite you to share about this water that you contribute to our common community, and then a gift that you bring for this upcoming year. And before I go add our water from previous years and from our Salisbury gathering, I'd like to say the gift I bring this year is our vision for our future. Please come forward as you want to.
This is from a little stream that runs behind my house. Any of you that are on Facebook with Mel will know that he's made a path down and put a little landing down where my stream is. And I'm adding this, and I want to help do some art for the church this year.
Mike and I have brought water from the stream that runs in front of our house. And I look forward to joining community and doing more volunteer work around the church, and being with you all as this shared water symbolizes.
water's from Lake Norman, where myself and my dogs rock.
This water's from my faucet. It fills my thermoses, and I keep one with me all day long, and it sustains my life by drinking water all day, my 64 ounces. And I promise to continue my service in communication on the board as secretary to make sure that everyone knows what's going on in church.
This water is from the home that I've lived in for 49 years that my husband and I bought when our children were just babies. And I think the gift that I bring to the church is actually my enduring commitment.
This water is from my faucet at home, unfiltered, that I share with many people in the community. And I guess I look forward to being back here at PUC and the friendships that exist here.
This water comes from a faucet in Salisbury, and it is water that binds our two congregations.
Water from our home in Concord, and this is for all the wonderful friends that I've made in this church over decades, and also with the music program.
So this is water from the drip hose that has been nourishing pretty impressive tomatoes with I like
So this water represents lots of waters from Mecklenburg County and the surrounding counties, as I have a job as an environmental educator and I take kids out to play in the water. So it represents all the water that we played in this summer, whether it was in the stream or staff stand-up paddleboarding or whatever it was, to see the joy of kids' faces.
Many of you don't know my name, you just know me as the girl that used to live next door. Next door is no longer there. It's gone. It's not there anymore, right? But it was there when I first joined the church. But it's really what's written on this container that makes this special to me. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.
We give thanks for all these gifts, all the gifts of each individual in this community, and for the waters that bind us together. We are now entering a time of quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then I invite you to imagine, just to slow your breath down and close your eyes if you would like. And then imagine that you are surrounded by water, comforting, cleansing, healing water. And simply during this time, simply rest in this water and this gift of life.
Today's wisdom reading is The History of the Water Service by Eliza Blanchard, Church of the Larger Fellowship. This month, many of our Unitarian Universalist congregations celebrate the opening of the church year at a service called variously Ingathering, Water Service, or Water Communion. People generally bring a small container of water collected from a special place during the summer's travels or closer to home. Pouring it into a common vessel, they share their inner or outer journeys. The idea of a Unitarian Universalist ritual may feel strange to some of us. We have Unitarian Universalist theological roots that rest in the rejection of established ritual and of the authorities who controlled both the content of these rituals and the participation in them. For example, the ritual of the chalice of communion wine, which was a privilege reserved for men who had been ordained as priests. For many people, however, rituals are concrete and meaningful expressions of joy and sorrow. As Unitarian Universalists, we are free to create rituals and to celebrate life passages in ways we feel express our values and our faith. The water service provides one way to celebrate the return to community after a summer's pause. Water is the key ingredient of this service, and many people think about a special spot from which they collect their water. This service originated with angry women. Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview were asked to create a ritual for the Women and Religion Conference at East Lansing, Michigan in 1980. Their service was intended to speak to the worship needs of women, which some felt had not been widely included in our movement up until that point. As McDade, social activist and songwriter, recalls, it was a strong service about community taking power, about creating a political and liberating theology. McDade and Longview both shared a vision of justice as well as commitment to the environment that made working together easy. At Lucille's home, they spent many rewarding hours brainstorming and writing the service. Everything they produced held that nature and community. McDade believes that this ritual, her words, broke the long silence of laywomen. The creation of a sacred space for and by women happened with a circle and a simple bowl. This celebration of connectedness, as McDade calls it, empowered women instead of calling them to serve others. The water symbolized the birth waters, the cycles of the moon, tides and women, and all the waters of this small blue planet. Each woman attending the conference was invited to bring a container of water with her. McDade recalls that it was very moving, the women bringing water from places of spiritual importance. The ceremony was also designed to demonstrate solidarity with women globally, as women the world over traditionally draw and carry water. Almost 30 years after its creation, actually now it's more than 40 years after its creation, the water ritual speaks to a deepening awareness of our solidarity with siblings globally who lack the most basic and precious resources. It also speaks eloquently of our interdependent web of life.
So today is our yearly ritual of water communion, sometimes called ingathering. Now, the wisdom reading that Robin shared has much of the history of this annual ritual, and a ritual is really just a sacred act, an act that has some kind of sacred meaning for us. So many years ago, a number of UU churches would not have worship during the summertime due to so many people traveling. This is particularly true with some of the historical nature of the churches up in the Northeast. And so the Sunday of water communion was the day that everyone was back from their travels. It was a time to reunite and ignite for a new church year. Now, culture is a bit different now. It's rare that a church won't have worship during the summertime, and we certainly continue to have worship throughout the entire year. And the fact is that people often travel many times throughout the year in a variety of cases. Yet churches often, no matter their denomination, kick off a new church year with the start of school. So here we are in September at the cusp of new beginnings. New beginnings symbolized by water. Water is a core element, something that we cannot live without. It binds our bodies and minds together. It binds this earth together. It binds us one to each other in community in an infinite number of ways. I want to ask a question here. Have any of you ever seen a map of all the rivers in North America? One of those big, I bet you have, Kat. So if you haven't, Google that later, because it's really gorgeous and beautiful. This kind of topographical map which just shows all these different rivers and streams, and they all flow into some other kind of body of water until they finally join the sea. It's like the veins of our bodies. They all ultimately connect to our heart. Now, this visual image reminds us that water is all about connection. There is not one body of water that is not connected in some form or fashion to another body of water. Water communion reminds us that we are all interconnected in so many ways that we don't even recognize or are not aware of. We are one drop, one tiny little drop of water, connected here to the community of Piedmont UU Church, connected to all humanity around the globe. Ingathering invites us to recognize that interconnection, to join with all the other drops of water to create a force for good that can ultimately move mountains. Now, if you think about that, what's the most powerful force in the world? It's water. Water can all join together and literally move mountains. It can move mountains with its slow, steady, persistent force. With our persistent force, one drop at a time, we are invited to join together so that we collectively can move the mountains of hate and greed, fear, the love of power, all those things that divide us. Because when we join together, we are the greatest force on the planet. And then the water of love and justice and mercy will flow like righteousness. as we are in the theme of invitation this month, I hope you hear this invitation today. Let the one drop of water you are join with all the rest of the water in this community and in this world. And answer with a resounding yes, that we are joining together to help change the world for the better. Now, I'd like to conclude today with these words from a Hindu prayer. And you might recall in Hinduism, divinity is seen throughout nature, and different aspects of nature are seen as gods and goddesses. Even the river Ganges, this huge river, is seen as a goddess that gives life. So hear this Hindu prayer with that in mind. Waters, you are the ones who bring us the life force. Help us find nourishment so that we may look upon great joy. Let us share in the most delicious sap that you have, as if you were loving mothers. Let us go straight to the house of the one for whom your waters give us life and give us birth. Waters, carry away all that has gone bad in me and what I have done, and carry away all lies. I have sought the water today. We have joined with their sap. O waters full of moisture, come and flood me with splendor. So as we gather in today, at the cusp of this new church year, we accept the invitation to join in the power of water, together to be a force for goodness and love and justice. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, it's not.
That's all right. We are very ready to collect your money, but we're going to hold off for a few minutes on that. So.
That was beautiful, flowing, peaceful. Now that there be an offering, which you've heard about. And as you heard earlier from Beth, this month's shared plate partner is Rand Helping Ministry. We hope you'll give generously. And we ask that you place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room. You're always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
Give thanks for all these generous gifts of your heart and of your spirit, which enable us to go out and to spread love, justice, and hope in this world. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn. It's found in your Teal hymnal, number 1007, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. Extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many people who've helped make our service possible today. And I also ask that if you can take the hymnals and place them back on the cart near the piano, that's always a big help. So let's do as we do each Sunday and take a moment to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for the things for which we are grateful today. Yes, a taste of the fall weather, absolutely.
I am grateful that Pam has decided to stay married to me for 34 years. Today is our wedding anniversary.
Well, happy 31st wedding anniversary, Pam and Jeff.
She has a birthday tomorrow.
And happy birthday too, Pam.
I can't let this time go by without saying that Myrna and I also were married on this day in 1962. And this is our 62nd anniversary. So to say
Wow. So for all of you at home and on YouTube, 62nd anniversary for Carl and Myrna.
and Myrna gets all the credit.
Myrna gets all the credit. Well, I think we know that, Carl. We got, yeah. Congratulations.
My 50th high school reunion next Saturday.
Oh, Sue's 50th high school reunion next Saturday. Have fun.
I'm grateful that this church can be a refuge for people to come and have an experience.
Yeah, great. That this church can be a refuge for people to come.
Grateful for water.
Grateful for water, absolutely. We give thanks for all these things and so much more which we carry in our heart this morning. Receive now this closing blessing. It starts with a drop, then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water bubbling towards its destination, and finally the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today you brought water, poured it into a common bowl, and though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today you came and shared in this sacred community. May you depart this sacred space, hearts filled with hope for new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles, where your life cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found in this place a home. All rivers run to the sea. May it be so. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light and its flame, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May you go in peace, believe in peace, create peace, wherever we may wander. Now for our closing song, we make a circle. You may hold hands if you want to do so. You may simply just place your hands on your heart.